So it is 11:20 p.m. on the 1st of January, the new year. And considering I got up, I don't know, about 6 o'clock in the morning, which is late, because I went to bed around 2 o'clock in the morning for the celebration of New Year's, most humans would probably be in bed right now. However, it is about probably I think 12:20 in Malaysia, and I need to communicate with my factory that I'm associated with to go over some products that they are developing for me. So I want to do a quick little video to show you a little bit behind the scenes on what we do and how I communicate with them. So this is kind of a cool thing. I'll show you here. So what I do is that I actually go on Google Translate and I will type in what I want to say, what I want done, and it will translate it into Malay, which is kind of a simple, yeah, it's their language, I guess. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. Let me see here. Yeah, so this is the Malay language here. And you can see that I will communicate also sometimes uh, in Chinese and also sometimes in Spanish, depending on what product I'm getting done and who's doing it. And sometimes, believe it or not, I work with people, some great people in factories right here in the USA, in Pennsylvania. That's where our Pro teasers are made. And but I'll tell you what, it stresses me out because you know our politicians really don't want us to make stuff here in the United States on a large scale. Well, where you can make money because we're competing globally now. I do reach out to, and I'm sure there's a few people on Facebook that could contest to this. I will reach out to some local builders and stuff and give them an opportunity to make me or make AllPro some products. But when I'm developing products for other companies, the only way I could be competitive is to work with my overseas partners and associates. So the good news is that I found a way to communicate with them, and then I'll use like WhatsApp to copy and paste this and communicate back and forth. The factories usually have at least one person who could speak the language, so we'll do like a web call and stuff like that, so they'll be able to speak English. Most of the factories do. I also work with like a broker, and she speaks English. In this case, I'm not dealing with the broker, I'm dealing directly with the factory, so I need to communicate this way with them. Yeah, so it's 11:24. I will get done with this probably around midnight or maybe 1:30 in the morning and call it a day. Start all over again about 4 in the morning. So a little insight into AllPro and what we do to get the products to you. And again, we'll have we try to bring the best quality at the best prices to the customer. If I could get that to happen, here in the United States, that's my first choice. It's easier oversight here in the United States. It's easier communication here in the United States. So even if it costs me like, a little more, as long as I can be competitive with the other companies, I'm game. Shipping is less money. Communication is so much better. Um, years ago, okay, we could fight about this. Years ago, you know, you could say quality, but the quality has come so far now, especially if you deal with a reputable factory or have a very good broker that has oversight and check things out for you and stuff. Um, yeah, that is usually not an issue at all. I don't want to say at all or ever because there will be times that I'll get shipments in, and you're waiting 3 months on this stuff, and you get it in, and it's like boxes are all damaged. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, they can make like all these little like micro computer devices and everything, right? I mean, but they can't make a cardboard box to hold up to ship. I mean, it literally falls apart. It's like it's not even like it's like loose leaf paper or something. I don't even get it. But yeah, all the time, nothing new here, all the time. Or the measurements are wrong because remember, we're using inches, they're using metric, so it's millimeters and your centimeters, and you're doing conversions and stuff, and I don't know. Yeah, I'll give you for instance a problem, a, a quality issue. So I spent almost 2 years designing the orbit jig. Now the orbit jig was one of my like proudest like jigs that I created. It had like a star keel on it, gave it incredible action. I still think it's probably the best jig out there to use because of the action. And what was special about the orbit jig was that it had a saltwater activated light that went inside of it. So when you dropped it into the water, it would blink and the light would blink, which is pretty cool. There's, not too many, if any, jigs like that out there, at least not around here. And I loved it. We designed the molds. Okay, it cost me thousands of dollars in designing molds and going over the process. Like I said, this is not like, a minute, a month, 6 weeks. This is like staying up at night like this, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, exchanging photos, exchanging videos. Well, I get them in, and you know what? Pretty good. Yeah, there's some issues like the packaging that they were in, like the PVC bags. Because they were kind of heavy, they were going through the bags and stuff. So it's like, whatever. But, we had bags, so that's part of it. And we repackaged some. Not the biggest deal in the world. But the lights, the batteries were inferior in the lights. They actually put like lights in these jigs that lasted like 30 days on the shelf. So if I didn't sell it within 30 days and you didn't fish it within 30 days, guess what? The battery for the lights were dead. Now, I used these lights before. These lights last years. But no. We were concerned about everything else, and we were trying to get the best price on everything else. And somewhere along the line, I don't know where, but I got chipped out on my lights and the batteries used for my lights. So we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands and a few more thousands of dollars of jigs that I sold to like who did I sell them to? I sold them to like resellers who what do they call them? Like they sell stuff cheap. I forgot what we call them. I got no memory for this stuff. But yeah, so we took them all out of the packages so they didn't say orbit jigs on them and stuff like that. And we sold them for like $2 a piece, It was like, really? Really cost me more to make them. But that was a loser. So, when we talk about quality from overseas, yeah. Now, if that was in the United States, that wouldn't have been an issue, right? I would have saved a ton of money, on that particular, item. But to create those molds in the United States, to pull that lead in the United States, and the packaging would have cost me double. Those jigs would have, where I could sell them, I could probably, let's say, wholesale them for $5, sell them for $9, $10, $11, which is really competitive, in those 3 to 6 ounce weight jigs. That would literally be like a $19 jig if I had it made in the United States. From soup to nuts. So that's the stuff that stresses me out. It's like the regulations, yeah, a mom and pop guy could probably do it cheaper because they're not paying insurance. They're not licensed. They don't have proper ventilation and all that equipment and whatever it is. And I can't operate that way, for me, because if something hits the fan, I don't want to be on the fan, so I got to deal with, a reputable factory who also could produce thousands of these things too. So it's tough doing it here, certain things like that. It's just tough. But I'm always trying, and I get people reaching out to me and said they'll work with me. So we do, and we do have a couple of items now, being made here, and I'm happy about that. I like, I'm patriotic, so I'm cool with that. But I'm a business person, and I realize it's a global economy. I also realize that everyone who bitches to me and says, "Oh, you gotta have your stuff made in the USA. Gotta have your stuff made in the USA, USA, USA," and then they don't. Then they're like, "Oh, $5.99. Oh, I can't pay that." You mean you want to pay? You charge me $7 for a teaser? Oh my God, there's no way I could pay that. $12 for a teaser? It's like, dude, if I'm getting charged like $4 in the USA to make a teaser, like, what do you think? I gotta, what do you think we're gonna wholesale that for? And then what do you think they're gonna sell that for? So it's those same people who balk and balk and balk. The last ones that want to take anything out of their pocket, on any consistent basis. They'll do it just for a quick, posting on Facebook. But have them do it, every week, and especially when they can go on Amazon and they're like, oh my God, I can get something similar for like, half the price. Gone. I'll be a little guy like me. I'll get eaten up alive. I'll be gone in a blink. So it's a constant juggling act. It's a constant juggling act. Maybe one day we could get to the size and really hone in on a specialty where we could have our own true factory that we own and produce. But I don't even know if that's the most economical way. I mean, everyone, just about everyone is using some sort of third-party provider, to some degree, and they license the stuff out. And some guys will say, oh, no, we make our stuff. Nah, baloney. You're getting something from overseas. I guarantee you. Your hooks are not coming from here, or your connectors, or whatever it is, your swivel, something not coming from here. So, it is what it is. But enough of that. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek on how I communicate and how I try to get things done and my mindset getting these things done. And I am going back to work now. So, Captain V, AllPro, I'm out of here.